For years, polygraphs have been touted as the gold standard in lie detection. However, their accuracy has been hotly debated. Experts and lay people alike are increasingly acknowledging the limitations of these traditional methods. This has paved the way for exploring new avenues, particularly those rooted in the analysis of language. The human brain, when concocting a lie, leaves subtle traces in the way we communicate. Unlike physical reactions, which can be consciously controlled to an extent, language offers a more nuanced and revealing window into our thoughts. This is because crafting a lie requires significant cognitive effort. The brain must invent a plausible narrative while simultaneously suppressing the truth. This mental juggling act often results in telltale signs in our language. By learning to recognize these patterns, we can become more adept at spotting deception, even in everyday conversations. Remember, the aim is not to become a human lie detector, but rather to improve our understanding of how language can be both a tool for deception and a means of unmasking it. One of the most common linguistic patterns exhibited by deceivers is the tendency to distance themselves from their lies. This manifests in reduced self-references. For example, instead of saying, "I didn't eat the last biscuit," a liar might say, "The last biscuit is gone," subtly removing themselves from the action. Another red flag is the use of negative language. Liars often pepper their speech with negative words like hate, stupid, or never to express subconscious guilt or discomfort. These negative terms can be a sign that the speaker is grappling with the act of deception. Simplification is another hallmark of deception. Constructing a believable lie is cognitively taxing, so liars often resort to simplified explanations to avoid getting tripped up in their own web of deceit. They might omit details, use vague language, or stick to a bare-bones narrative. Conversely, some liars go overboard with details, providing overly convoluted explanations in an attempt to sound more credible. This overcompensation often backfires, as the excessive details can be a sign that they are trying too hard to convince. Let's examine these linguistic patterns in the context of high-profile cases. Take Lance Armstrong, the former cyclist who vehemently denied doping allegations for years. In his initial denials, Armstrong used distancing language, referring to himself in the third person and avoiding direct ownership of his actions. However, when he finally confessed in 2013, his language shifted dramatically. He used more personal pronouns, acknowledged his wrongdoings, and expressed remorse, all indicative of truth-telling. Similarly, John Edwards, a former US senator, initially denied paternity of his child, using convoluted phrasing and avoiding naming the child directly. However, his later admission was concise, direct, and acknowledged his daughter, reflecting a shift from deception to truth. These cases highlight how linguistic analysis can be a powerful tool for separating truth from lies. While we may not always have access to multiple statements for comparison, understanding these patterns can still be invaluable in everyday situations. The principles of deception detection through language are not limited to high-profile cases. They can be applied to everyday interactions, from workplace negotiations to personal relationships. Paying attention to subtle shifts in language, such as reduced self-references, negative language, simplified explanations, or overly detailed statements, can provide valuable insights into a person's true intentions. Remember, context is crucial. These linguistic cues are not foolproof indicators of deception, but rather red flags that warrant further observation and consideration. By combining linguistic analysis with other contextual cues, we can become more discerning listeners and communicators, better equipped to navigate the complexities of human interaction.